Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm 4 Pop. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Drip ecosystem related projects. And today's video, we got the second AMA of the week, or the follow-up. Remember, he said he was going to be doing, Forex said he's going to be doing these weekly in regards to the announcements on Piggy Plinko and the Animal Farm updates. And he did mention Drip in this one. I don't know of other channels besides Ray's that shared this. So you can definitely go head over to Ray's to catch that if you missed it. And of course, I'm gonna be covering the notes from Wonder Woman. There is some Drip Alpha dropped in here and we'll go over that. But Ray got really excited and it's hard to hear what Forex was saying because Ray's clapping and screaming. So if you have another channel where you can catch that, you might head over there. But the notes cover it for the most part. So I'm actually go straight through everything and not just go to the Drip highlight, because there was some stuff. And I know from previous AMA video updates I did, people think it's all just talk and they want to see the execution, but it's still my job to share you guys the information that is being shared from the developer of the Animal Farm. So without further ado, let's get into it. So again, shout out to ladies of Faucet and Wonder Woman for putting this together. So I just put it here because it's easier to read. You can head into my Telegram to read it, the actual notes itself. So the fiat on-ramp is coming next week. So what happened was that they have an available fiat on-ramp right now, which is what Forex showed, and that is being pushed basically through a iframe. If you're familiar with website development, it basically just means you see it on the front page of your website, but the actual work is being done on a different website. So Forex, I guess in the contract that he made with this fiat on-ramp company, was meant to have it as a widget, meaning they host the entire thing, but that wasn't delivered yet. So he was almost on the verge of pushing that back. So you guys know I've expressed about Forex's personality and stuff like that. So he is a my way or the highway. So there was in this AMA, he mentioned that he was going to push that back and it was unacceptable. But I guess talking to the team, they talked him out of it. And he's most likely going forward with just accepting it as is, which I think, of course, is the best thing for the community. Give them some updates so that we can see progress is being made. Don't just keep pushing for perfection. That's what I told my dev team. Go for progress, not perfection, because you can always get the other stuff afterwards. But as I mentioned before, it's part of his personality. He is all about 100% perfection and will settle for nothing less. And if that means coming at the cost of delays and everything else, he will do it. But luckily, it sounds as though they're going to push this forward with the iframe model, and we should be able to see that on the site by next week, he said. He also gave some updates on the mini DAO. So they're doing this a little different. This not a little different, but I guess we have more insight on it. There's actually going to be a website hosting the mini DAO, and or actually the DAO raises in general, so to speak. Let me rephrase that. There will be a website in which your allocations and access to either the DAO tier 1, which is the 300 reap, or the DAO tier 2, which is undecided yet, you will be able to interact with, and that will be an actual NFT. And that NFT will actually showcase the allocations you have access to, as well as the pre-sales, the vested tokens, the unclaims, all this stuff, and you can actually sell that NFT. So that is pretty cool. As he mentioned in here, there's nothing out there in the space that currently does that. I have access to a couple of launch pads that I use with staked tokens, and once that allocation goes out and you put your bid in, you're now getting those tokens unvested to you. But if you wanted to sell that, you can't. You can only sell the vested tokens, but you can't sell the access to that vested token pre-sale that you got. So this could be pretty cool. I don't know anything else about the DAO and what kind of stuff that they have access to. I know he gives his trade signals and things of that nature. Clearly, the price of the DAO or the REAP token is an indicator of the value that the DAO members have, and you'll see quite a few DAO members holding it. Also, one thing he's changed on this is that when you purchase the mini DAO, that REAP will actually be burned. Remember, REAP is a deflationary token. So as Forex continues to develop in the space, it will become more and more expensive to get into the tier 1, and there will be less and less REAP. So that is interesting. As he's always said, he continues to develop for his older tokens. So seeing this take place, I know some of the haters that have been here long term will say like, well, what about Rake and Grim? I forgot, but yeah, I got no information on that. So at least the ones that since I've been around, he does continue to develop for. Lastly, or not lastly, but next, he's talking about the Animal Farm and PancakeSwap version 3. So the version 3 is there, but apparently a lot of other staking platforms are not utilizing it due to the fact that the staking, the LP tokens, are actually being done in the form of a NFT. So therefore you can't earn the yield the same way. So all the existing staking platforms that integrate with PancakeSwap are still using version 2, and him and the team have come up with a way to migrate to version 3, and he believes that will give them a huge first mover advantage. Again, we see he is always innovating, but as I've mentioned, it takes marketing. So even if he's able to put this in and nobody else has, if there's no marketing and no awareness building that this is a better model to get some of that liquid capital sitting on the sidelines from other platforms, they're not going to come over. So it's great to have there, and eventually, you know, maybe with the adoption of natural adoption curve of crypto, it'll work. But he's very big on features and kind of like the development side and what you learn from marketing. So people just want to clarify, I think that I don't have a marketing background because I'm not Scott or Rock 8, but I've taken hundreds of marketing classes, and I had dropshipping websites that I had to market on my own, especially here in Asia. So I'm very familiar with how to market and the market psychology. And Simon Sinek says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I've read tons of marketing books as well. And when you just shout out features, it's not enough for people to get in. So there's got to be an incentive that solves a problem for them. And if that's not marketed, then that capital just sit there on the other sidelines. But we'll at least have that in place so that when the marketing team or eventually things move forward, they can tap into that. Next up, UI done next week, fiat on ramp. So we just talked about that. He's added some more people to the team for the single asset staking that we get in here. He talked more about Piggy Plinko, and this I wasn't aware, I didn't read. So 97% of the funds in the games go back to players, and the 3% of that is left, 40% goes to the AFP stakers, and 60% of that 3% goes to referrals and marketing. So I'm gonna have to run some numbers on this because, yeah, this is definitely a slow game in regards to volume, but it does have some potential because you're looking at 40% of 3%. So let's real quick just look at that to see what we would have to see for some massive influx. So let's just say you're getting $10 million worth of people playing this game per month of revenue that's coming in. Remember, 3% is what he's saying is going to be allocated. So you multiply this times 0.03. So that's $300,000. Now, right here, 40% of that will go to the actual AFP. So of that times 0.4, it's only $120,000 a month off of $10 million volume. So yeah, that's a nice chunk of change. But remember, right now, what he was doing with the buybacks, we were getting like 100,000 a week when he was doing that. And that was, you know, just barely keeping the pig's price dividends up. So we're gonna have to see a lot of volume come into this for this to be massive onboarding support for the AFP. So it's a great idea in all these games and stuff like that. But I just want people to be aware that this is not going to be a one and done and all of a sudden you're making dollars a day in the pig pen. This is a long-term strategy that's going to take, you know, millions and millions of dollars of capital per month to be able to uplift the pigpen dividends, especially as more and more people start taking allocations and getting more positions in the pigpen. So if each game is doing 10 million a month, then yeah, you start to put a massive dent in that, but that's going to take time. So it's not coming overnight. All right, next up, single asset lending. He mentioned that and the improvement on the model that they're doing. And now I think Stargate is the only one, Stargate in any swap or multi-chain, sorry. And last but not least, so he did mention drip in here, and he mentioned that he plans to have an update and a launch date for that. So it won't be launching, but at least an update of the launch date by the drip anniversary, which is April 22nd. And the last nail in the coffin they're waiting on, which is there's a dev meeting. It will be today for me, depending on when you guys see this. But the dev meeting with the piece that I showed you guys before, that there was a person on the team not getting their work done. And I guess now he'll have the meeting with the team to tell them what they've decided to go forward. I'm speculating that what they did is get this other piece of the UI that was lagging, hand it off to someone else in his multiple areas of developers, and is going to present that or show them that this is what they did, or I have no idea, but that's what it sounds like. My only hopes is that at least hopefully the 3 out of the 4 are compensated, and the one person that, you know, was unable to deliver due to personal issues, you know, is contributed or given whatever is necessary for his contribution. So he said that that was the big thing that was holding it up, because the whole team had done everything else, and this one piece is what was holding everything back, and he didn't have a way to handle that and was giving them, I guess, some grace and some leadway, and finally now, just due to taking too long, decided to pull the trigger and move forward. So Ray will have some alpha in his degen cipher to give some updates on that. And he said, yeah, he hired 2 more dev teams and he's looking for additionals. So the other dev teams are working on other areas of the roadmap. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on. He's in a lot of meetings, but this, in my opinion, was positive sentiment on Drip. However, there was no Drip price pump at all. So reference what I put in another video. I think the community is actually just jaded and tired of the updates and lack of actual execution. And that's not FUD. That's just saying that we saw the price pump significantly from Triple D launch ideas and the community talking about that. So it got way more hype and price pump from the community side than we see now with Forex. Back in the day when Forex used to talk about Drip, it would pump. But now, because there's been no development, literally 14 months now, even though this was positive, talking about he wants to have a launch date by Drip anniversary, it looks as though, based on the price, that the community just doesn't care, because, or they're just burned out, or they're out of capital, or they're just waiting for execution. I have no idea. All I can do is look at the chart and see that it went from 40 to 38 cents, and it's no longer at that floor of 40 that we were holding. So we'll wait to hear that update from the degen cipher and see how that goes, and then I'll have some more updates for you guys during the week. All right, you know the drill. If that provided any value, smash that HBL special. Help a brother out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.